Hi, good morning, everybody. I am Coach Rashawn. We have Coach Joy here, and then we have Coach Q here. So, welcome to our 14-day Sleep Strong Challenge. We're super excited about this. One of the members asked if we'll do it, and so, hey, we're here. So, over the next 14 days, we are going to work on something that we typically overlook in fitness, and that is sleep. We know sleep is important. Sleep helps us regulate our hormones. It affects our mood. It can affect our energy levels. And we know that we can work out, we can be active, but if we're not sleeping, we're not recovering. And if we're not recovering, we are not performing or we're not showing up at our best each time. So over the next 14 days, that is what we're going to focus on. The challenge starts on Monday. So this is just our kickoff to give you a little bit information. So our challenge starts Monday. We are going to go over that tracker and see ways for us to improve our habits and then gain those points. So we're going to pass out that tracker. Now I'm going to actually grab a tracker. Awesome. Oh, okay. So on our tracker here, if you follow along, at the top, we want you to put your goal down first. What are you looking to achieve over the next 14 days? For each day, you'll see that it's labeled 1 through 14. We want you to track each day, if you can. That first column is our sleep 7+ hours. If you look at the bottom of the page, you will see ways to earn those stars. Yes, you can mark stars or you can mark check mark stars. I think are a little bit better. But we want you to mark if you get 1 hour. I'm sorry, if you get 5 to 5.9 hours of sleep, that'd be 1 star. If you get 6 to 6.9 hours of sleep, that'd be 2 stars. And then 7+ hours of sleep, that'd be 3 stars. And you'll put that in the 7+ hour category. If you don't make it to that 5 hour, still put the time that you do get during the night, because we want to record that so we can be aware and then we can make those necessary changes. Next is going to be our consistent bedtime. What time are you going to bed? We want you to mark that, what time you're going to bed, but then also you can put that little check there for that point. The third column is going to be our screen time. If we are looking at our screens before we go to bed, it's good to be aware, like I said before, and then also so we can make those adjustments. And then lastly is our total point category. So the goal for the next 14 days is not to be, we want to be perfect. We want to make those necessary changes so we can continue to progress.
Can I add
Oh,
something to
yes.
this?
Oh, yeah.
All right. So, just a couple more things. In that sleep column where we're capturing how much sleep we're getting, along with those stars, go ahead and put the hours that you're getting of sleep. So, if it's 6 hours, 6.8 hours, like go ahead and put those hours in. We want to see that. Also, on the back of your page, so it's blank, we're going to be through this challenge creating a bedtime routine, or your sleep habits. I want you to take some notes. This is also about awareness. We can't make any changes if we don't know what we're actually doing. We may have an idea, but let's go ahead and write it down. See if there's some patterns there. Okay, so you'll write that on the back of your page. This is something that you can share with us as coaches so that we can further assist you.
Yay. And then we will have a midweek check-in. I forgot about that. We will have a midweek check-in. So after the first week, we're going to send out a message. We want to see how things are going. You can share some of the notes that you jot down. If you need any advice on how to improve your sleep time or your bedtime routine, that would be the time to address that. And then we also want you to take it a step further. We want to hear those wins. So we are going to ask you to write one win or one bright spot from the first week on the board. So we'll have on the whiteboard here in the gym, we'll have our leaderboard, and then we want you to jot down some wins. Anything else about the tracker or about the challenge? Okay. So now I'm going to pass it over to Coach Q, and he's going to give us some tips about sleep.
All right, so sleep is really, really important, as Coach Rashawn just talked about. Even furthermore, when it comes to your recovery from working out, it is by far the most important thing. But it also goes hand in hand with your nutrition as well. So when you think about your nutrition, we always want to focus on eating a balanced diet, correct? So we're getting our good source of protein, lean protein, good source of carbs, and plenty of vegetables for the most part. But what we're not thinking about too when it comes to sleep is the timing of that last meal, okay? Because the timing matters. So if you go to sleep on a full stomach and you ate like an hour ago, your sleep is not going to be as restful because your body's still processing the food, trying to digest the food so that it could get to where it needs to be inside of the body. So make sure that you're trying to eat at least 2 to 3 hours if you can. If you can eat 2 to 3 hours before bedtime, that will be fantastic because at that point the food is pretty much digested and you can get a sound amount of sleep. Also, we want to eliminate or not eliminate, but limit the amount of alcohol. Okay, we I know this is not a popular thing to say, but when you think about it, yes, you may feel like you get better sleep while you drink like wine or scotch. In my opinion, is the best. Anyways, but it's actually doing you more harm than good because your body's not resting properly when you're on alcohol. And there's plenty of studies out there. I'm not going to go through them. If you would like to, you can look it up. It's plenty of studies out there that suggest that alcohol before bed is actually causing more harm than good. And you're actually not getting restful sleep. You're just closing your eyes. Okay. Also, caffeine. We're especially for people who work out in the later times of the day, pre-workouts, coffee. You really want to minimize the amount that you're doing past 12 o'clock in the afternoon. Okay, because again, it takes caffeine 8 to 10 hours to get out of your body. So if your bedtime is at 9 o'clock and you had a Celsius or a cup of coffee at 12, guess what? That caffeine is still coursing through your body a little bit. So it may not, it may definitely impact the amount of sleep that you're getting and the quality of sleep that you're getting. All right. And the big thing is just being aware of what you're doing, what you're putting into your body, because the food that we partake of actually plays a big factor in not only our exercise but also our sleep too. All right. So a couple of things that you can think about, like as far as pre bed snacks, actually surprisingly bananas. They actually are really good for a pre bedtime snack because they up the serotonin in your brain, and that kind of helps you relax a little bit. Also, cinnamon and nutmeg with some warm milk. It is like really, really great for kids to go to sleep, but also for adults. Okay. So if you find yourself wanting something like some type of drink or something before you go to bed, that is warm milk with some cinnamon and nutmeg will actually help soothe your body a little bit more so that you can get a little bit more sounder sleep too. Um, and let's see, outside
I
of
have
that.
a question about the
Yes.
cinnamon and nutmeg. Does it have to be milk? Is it the milk or is it the cinnamon and nutmeg? So if I don't like milk, can I put the cinnamon and nutmeg in something else or do I need the milk?
So you don't necessarily need the milk. Milk is just one of those things that kind of helps calm the body too. But the cinnamon and nutmeg are the spices are really, really great for a myriad of things. But cinnamon and nutmeg are traditionally warm, soothing kind of spices, so to speak. So they really, really help the body relax. So you can put it in water or you can do it in a tea. We just use or oat milk at the house because that get some knock them out.
That's trick.
But yeah, so just finding those little tips, and we're here to kind of help you with more tips if you need anything as far as like nutrition and how it plays a big factor in your sleep. So feel free to ask any questions. And before I hand it over to Coach Joy, don't eat a lot of pasta and fatty things, okay, before you go to sleep because it takes the body a long time to digest like cheesier things, like fatty or things. So while you're sleeping, your body's still digesting again, so it's just going to interrupt your sleep.
Awesome. That's good to know.
So actually, what I like to do is let's go into the bedtime routine and
Mhm.
end with scheduling,
Okay.
creating our goal. So Coach Q talks about nutrition and how that correlates with our sleep. Also, something that we want to talk about, and he it was a great segue into that, is preparing for the night, getting our body prepared, getting our mind, our brain that cue that it is time to go to bed. And it's all about the atmosphere and that routine that we set up for ourselves. So if you all think back to when you were a kid, or if you have little kids right now, or have had a little kid, they have a bedtime routine. Most of them do, right? Whether that is take a bath, put on your pajamas, bedtime story, right? And it's a routine that we do with our kids, or maybe we did as a child, and it signaled to our brain that it's time for bed. The key there is not so much the bath or the bedtime story as it is the routine, the consistency, building that consistency. So it's training your brain, just like we train our bodies in the gym. It's training your brain that it is time to go to sleep. And so there are different things that you can do to train your body. And we're going to have Coach Rashawn talk about some breathing techniques. And we're going to have Coach Q talk about some stretching. And then I'll follow up with some other tricks, tips that you can do.
Okay. So one thing we are going to discuss is the box breathing. And sorry, I'm looking at my notes because I want to make sure I get this correct. So box breathing is good at settling your body, but then also reducing that stress. So with our box breathing, we're going to picture a box in your head. And so you're going to inhale for 4 seconds. So you guys can do this with me. So inhale for 4 seconds. Hold for 4 seconds. We're going to exhale for 4 seconds. Hold for 4 seconds, and then repeat that. So we inhale for 4 seconds. We're going to hold it for 4 seconds. We're going to exhale for 4 seconds. And then we're going to repeat that.
So we're essentially making that box. So you're inhaling. Are we holding on the way down, or we're holding on the way down? Then we're exhaling, and then we're holding. So just, you can even visualize that box as you're breathing.
And then second is diaphragm belly breathing. So breathing from our diaphragm versus our chest. So when you're laying down, you can place your hand on your belly. You can inhale deep into your belly for 5 seconds. And then exhale slowly for 6 seconds. And repeat this for 5 minutes until your body is relaxed.
So what should they be feeling to know that they're doing it correctly?
So you should be feeling your belly rise, and then I guess
going back down.
Go back down, yeah, deflate. And so this is good to relax your body, but then also too, it comes in handy in increasing that strength in your core. So you can utilize that here at the gym, but it's just a good way to reduce that stress, relax, and then build that core.
Yeah. So as far as stretching goes, like I love stretching. I do it. It's part of my nightly routine, to be honest with you. But some of those things that you may be feeling like a little achy, as far as like we did a lot of legs and maybe your quads are tight. That's a good opportunity to do some couch stretching. I don't know if it's kind of hard to really, without demonstrating it, to kind of go through it, but essentially it's putting your foot on the back of the couch and basically having it your leg in this downward position, and it's really stretching out the calves. So the biggest thing when you're stretching for nighttime purposes is to be able to breathe, okay? If you feel like you're holding your breath, then you're doing more harm than good for the cool down and the calming nature that you're supposed to be feeling while stretching. All right, so anything from just doing a forward bend, just going wide with your legs and just leaning forward, just making sure that you're breathing properly throughout each of these movements so that you're not increasing your heart rate, you're more so causing your heart rate to come down and relax. That's going to be more beneficial for you when it comes to your nighttime routine as far as stretching goes. So definitely if you're feeling tightness in a particular area, stretch those places out, but make sure that you can breathe properly while you're doing it. All right. Also, when it comes down to it, If you like have a foam roller at home, that's also a great opportunity to get a little bit of soft tissue work. Soft tissue work should be relaxing. Yeah, it may be a little bit tight in the beginning, but once you're there and you're breathing and you're focusing on that area, that relaxation of that muscle could cause you to actually be more ready for bed than not. So that's also a good opportunity to get some of that soft body work in as well.
And then if you guys have any questions, like you say, my lats are, tight, or I need more stretches for my legs, just reach out to us. We'll be happy to share some Q-tips with you.
Awesome.
Love that.
That's great.
So we have some breathing, we have some stretching, some other things that you can do. If you have a book, a great book, light reading, right? That you can do right before bed. Also, I like to encourage people to journal, especially if you are like me and your mind is always racing and there's always things to do, and maybe it's writing down that things to do list for tomorrow, but it's taking what's in here out of here, putting it on paper, taking it out of the mind and putting it somewhere so that you can begin to relax and unwind. It could be turning down the lights, dimming down the lights, right?
Turn the television off.
Definitely turning the television off, coming off of our screens. I'm really bad at that. Having that screen on right before I go to sleep, because again, my mind still has to unwind. My body still has to unwind after that. It could be lighting a candle if if that's something that helps you. The thing is, there's no right or wrong way, and there's no, it's black or white, right? You have to figure out what works for you. There could, and you may have to try a few things to figure out what is that special combination that helps you unwind.
And there's one thing that you do, put in the lavender on the pillow.
Yes. So lavender. Also, I like eucalyptus. So lavender helps with the sleep, but then eucalyptus helps reduce stress. You can buy the little sprays. You can get essential oils. I buy the sprays. I don't know if we can say where on the video without promoting. You can reach out to me. But yeah, there's places you can buy the little sprays, or even the little satchels if you want to make a little satchel and have the potpourri in it. Put it in your pillow, spray the pillow, spray the comforter, and that'll also help invoke sleep. Some sleeping mask, having the mask, it just makes it really dark, right?
Blackout curtains.
But regardless of, right, what you choose to do in all of these things, it's the consistency is where it all comes together. Your body has to know that this is what it's to expect every night around this time.
Right.
So if it's 9 o'clock when you're choosing your bedtime, then at 9 o'clock, I'm following the same routine every single night, and I'm waking up at the same time every single morning. Your body's going to get into that routine. It's going to know what to expect. You're going to find that around 9 o'clock, you're going to start getting tired. And you're going to start waking up before that alarm as well, because you're setting your internal clock. So your body's going to know what to expect. So when it comes to the weekend or the day off, I know that sleeping in sounds really great and really inviting, but try as much as possible to stick to your routine of going to bed at a certain hour and waking up at a certain hour. Your body needs to have that consistency for it to be able to have those cues that it's time for bed, it's time to wake up. And though all those things together can help you to have not just the hours of sleep, but quality sleep.
That's the goal.
Yeah. And so just want to touch upon supplements. So we don't talk a lot about supplements here in the gym, but there are some natural things that you can take. One being magnesium glycinate. I just started taking it about a month ago, and it has improved my sleep tremendously. Taking it an hour before you go to bed, that can definitely help your body to calm itself, and reduce some of the stress and get ready for, it just kind of evokes that sleeping and kind of takes you into a deep sleep. There are a lot of brands out there. One thing that we do talk about is just quality brands that don't have a lot of fillers in it. If you need some suggestions or would like us to make some recommendations, don't hesitate to reach out to us. I just placed the order and it came in overnight because I was running out. But that's one option. And another option is melatonin. Melatonin is also a great option if you are finding that you're not falling asleep fast enough and you need to get to bed quickly. We don't recommend melatonin being your daily supplement. Magnesium, on the other hand, you can take that daily. Melatonin, it is recommended that it's on occasions. It's not something that you do every single day. But just like your magnesium, you want to, again, get a quality brand, and we can definitely point you in the right direction where that's concerned. Okay? So something to think about is how does your bedtime routine look now? Do you have one? Is it the hustle and bustle of the day? Now I wash the dishes. Now I'm exhausted and I just lay in the bed. And then how long do you lay there before you fall asleep? Right? Or is it, okay, hustle and bustle of the day. Now I need to tell my body it's time to go to bed. And so now I'm going through that routine, whatever that looks like. You decide, you're going to write it on the back of your paper, what you come up with. And just know that, again, you may have to try a couple things before you find that right combination for you. But once you do it consistently every day. Okay?
Cool.
All right.
Hope everybody's excited. I'm excited.
Yeah.
Because I know I'm that person that rushes in the house and gets dinner done. Quick bath, bedtime story. Now we gotta go to bed, and then it's like 9:30. It's like,
Yeah,
we're supposed to be in bed an hour ago. Yeah. So
I just started taking my magnesium, but I still need a routine before that, right? So I need to start incorporating a routine that doesn't involve just scrolling through social media. So I need to take my magnesium an hour before, and then use that time to begin to unwind, so that my body can recognize that it's time to go to bed. So one thing that Coach Rashawn mentioned on your tracker at the very top, we want you to write your goal. So we've given you a lot of different tips with nutrition focus, what you should and shouldn't be having right before bed, some different techniques that you can incorporate in your bedtime routine. We mentioned about going to bed at a certain hour, how many hours you should be getting. We want you to come up with, what is your goal over the next 14 days? What would you like to work on? Okay. And we're all about having SMART goals. SMART goals is something. S is for
Specific.
Specific.
specific. M is for
Measurable.
A is for
Attainable or achievable.
Yeah.
okay. R is for
Realistic.
It's realistic, yeah.
and T is for
Time.
right?
Time
So
sensitive.
over the next 14 days, I'm going to give you the time sensitive. Over the next 14 days, I am going to
I'm gonna get in bed by 10.
by 10 o'clock.
By 10 o'clock.
So he's going to consistently get in the bed at 10 o'clock over the next 14 days.
One of my goals is to not scroll before bed. I'm always like catching up on the news. So I'm going to catch up on the news, then get in bed so I can go to sleep when I lay down.
And over the next 14 days, I am going to identify what that bedtime routine is for me. It is going to include not scrolling, because I know that is something that I do, but I need to find out what's that perfect thing for me to help me relax. I think I'm going to start off with trying the stretch, because I need it. And I think that would probably just be beneficial all the way around. So we'd love to hear from you what your goal is. So when you come in on Monday, write it on the board. If Tuesday's your day, whatever your first day in the gym, write it on the board. Let us know what your goal is.
You want to touch on Facebook group?
Yes. Also, feel free to throw out some of your routines. If you have a routine that you're comfortable with sharing, please feel free to share it on the Facebook private group. If you're not a part of it, if you're here Monday, just let me know and I will send you a link directly so that you can be added to it, and you can also share some of your stuff on there as well.
Yeah. And we really want you to talk to us on Facebook, but I know some of you do not have Facebook, and that is okay. That's why we're utilizing the board as well. So if you do have Facebook and the board. If you don't worry, we're not leaving you out. Let's go ahead and get our post on the board as well. All right.
Awesome. And there will be prizes at the end. We love prizes. So we're going to have 3 categories. Well, everybody's going to be a winner. But we're going to have 3 categories of winners. We're going to have our overall sleeper. So the VFit Sleep Strong Award is going to go to the person with the overall points. We're also going to have a category for consistent bedtime. So 2 winners for this. One with consistent amount of hours per sleep, and then consistent bedtime. And then our 3rd or 4th one is going to be the most improved. So if you're going from 3 hours of sleep per night to even like maybe 6 or 7 consistently, you'll get that award.
Or maybe you were scrolling, because we have different columns, right? Your screen time, but you're minimizing that screen time. But we just want to see that improvement, because that's what it's really about. All right.
Yay.
Well, all right. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to us here at the gym under this video that's posted. But yeah, we're excited.